Good day, everyone, seekers of truth and fellow travelers on the path of existence. Today, we are going to explore a profound question. How might we transform our lives through spiritual practices? This inquiry is not merely practical but existential, inviting us to bridge the eternal with the ephemeral, the mystical with the measurable. By weaving together the profound depths of philosophical insight and the illuminating clarity of scientific inquiry, we will uncover how practices like meditation, gratitude, and community can reshape our being, aligning us with the infinite while grounding us in the tangible. Let us embark on this journey with open hearts and discerning minds, delving deeper into the philosophical essence of transformation. The philosophical foundation, the quest for being. At the core of spiritual practices lies a philosophical yearning, a restless desire to grapple with the mysteries of existence. Who are we beyond the fleeting roles we play? What is the nature of reality, and how do we find our place within it? These questions, posed by thinkers from Plato to Heidegger, are not abstract musings but urgent calls to awaken to our authentic selves. Consider the ancient Greek aphorism, know thyself, know thyself. For Socrates, self-knowledge was the gateway to a virtuous life, a process of peeling back the layers of illusion to reveal the soul's essence. Spiritual practices, from meditation to prayer, are tools for this unveiling, guiding us toward what the existentialist philosopher Martin Heidegger called Dasein, being in the world. To practice spirituality is to confront our thrownness into existence, to wrestle with the absurdity of a finite life in an infinite cosmos, and to choose authenticity over despair. In Eastern traditions, the Upanishads speak of Atman, the individual self, as inseparable from Brahman, the universal reality. This non-dual perspective, echoed in Advaita Vedanta, suggests that spiritual practices dissolve the illusion of separation, revealing our unity with the divine. The Buddhist concept of anatta, no self, takes this further, challenging the very notion of a fixed identity and inviting us to embrace impermanence. These philosophies converge on a radical truth. Transformation is not about becoming something new, but about remembering who we already are, beings interwoven with the fabric of existence. Yet, this remembering is not passive. As Soren Kierkegaard argued, the spiritual life demands a leap of faith, a courageous plunge into the unknown where meaning is not found but created. Practices like meditation or gratitude are acts of rebellion against nihilism, affirmations that life, in its mystery and paradox, is worth embracing. They cultivate what the philosopher Gabriel Marcel called disponibility, an openness to the mystery of being, a willingness to encounter the divine in the ordinary. This philosophical depth frames spiritual practices as more than self-improvement. They are ontological voyages, reshaping our relationship with existence itself. But how do these lofty ideals manifest in the material world? Here, science offers a complementary lens, grounding the ethereal in the empirical. The scientific perspective, the body as a bridge to the infinite. While philosophy probes the why of spiritual practices, science illuminates the how, revealing their measurable effects on our minds, bodies, and lives. Let us examine three transformative practices: meditation, gratitude, and community, through this dual lens, deepening their philosophical resonance with scientific insight. 1. Meditation, the silence that speaks. Meditation, revered across traditions from Zen to Sufism, is a practice of stilling the mind to encounter the self's depths. Philosophically, it is an act of apophatic knowing, a descent into silence where the clutter of thought dissolves, and we glimpse what Pseudo-Dionysius called the divine darkness, the ineffable source beyond concepts. For Martin Buber, meditation fosters the I-thou relationship, not only with others, but with existence itself, allowing us to meet the eternal in the present moment. Scientifically, meditation is a catalyst for neural transformation. Neuroimaging studies, such as those published in Neuroimage, 2014, demonstrate that mindfulness meditation increases cortical thickness in the prefrontal cortex, enhancing self-regulation and emotional resilience. It also dampens the default mode network, the brain's self-referential circuitry, which aligns with the Buddhist insight of anatta, the dissolution of a fixed ego. A 2015 meta-analysis in JAMA Internal Medicine found that meditation reduces symptoms of anxiety, depression, and chronic pain, offering empirical support for its role in existential healing. Meditation, then, is a bridge between the philosophical and the physiological. It is a practice of kenosis, emptying the self to make space for the infinite, while simultaneously rewiring the brain to embody that openness. As we sit in silence, we enact Heidegger's call to let being be, cultivating a presence that transforms our very mode of existence. 2. Gratitude, the alchemy of wonder. Gratitude, celebrated in traditions from Stoicism to Islam, is a practice of radical reorientation. Philosophically, it is an antidote to what Albert Camus called the absurd, the tension between our desire for meaning and the universe's silence. By choosing to dwell in wonder, as Plato described in Theaetetus, we affirm the goodness of existence despite its enigmas. Gratitude is what Emmanuel Levinas might call an ethical stance, a recognition of the other, whether human, divine, or cosmic, as a gift that demands our response. Science validates this transformative power. Studies by Robert Emmons and others, Journal of Positive Psychology, 2010, show that gratitude practices, like journaling, increase well-being, reduce depressive symptoms, and enhance physical health, including lower blood pressure and better sleep. Neurologically, gratitude activates the medial prefrontal cortex, associated with moral cognition and reward, fostering a sense of interconnectedness. This mirrors the philosophical insight of interdependence, where gratitude becomes a practice of seeing the self as part of a larger whole. Gratitude, then, is both a philosophical and biological act of alchemy. It transforms scarcity into abundance, alienation into connection, and despair into hope. By giving thanks, we enact what Jean-Paul Sartre called our freedom to choose our essence, crafting a life of meaning in the face of the void. 3. Community, the sacred we. Spiritual practices often unfold in community, whether through shared rituals, collective prayer, or acts of service. Philosophically, community embodies the intersubjective nature of existence, as articulated by Hannah Arendt, who saw human flourishing in the space of appearance, where we co-create meaning through action and dialogue. For Emmanuel Levinas, the encounter with the other is the foundation of ethics, a call to responsibility that transcends the self. Community is thus a spiritual practice of becoming, where we are shaped by and shape the collective. Science underscores this truth. A 2015 study in Social Science and Medicine found that social connectedness predicts lower rates of mortality, with effects rivaling those of exercise. Community engagement reduces stress hormones like cortisol and boosts oxytocin, fostering trust and bonding. These findings resonate with the philosophical notion of Mitsein, being with, Heidegger's term for our inescapable relatedness to others. In community, we enact the spiritual paradox of losing the self to find it, as described in Christian mysticism and the Bhagavad Gita alike. Scientifically, this is mirrored in the health benefits of altruism and connection, which anchor us in a web of mutual care. Community transforms us by reminding us that we are not solitary atoms, but threads in an infinite tapestry. The synthesis, becoming whole. The interplay of philosophy and science reveals spiritual practices as portals to wholeness. Philosophy offers a vision of transformation as a return to our essential nature, beings of wonder, interconnectedness, and infinite potential. Science provides the tools to measure this journey, showing how meditation rewires the mind, gratitude heals the heart, and community strengthens the body. Together, they form a helix of transformation, spiraling upward toward a life of depth, purpose, and authenticity. These practices are not escapes from reality, but engagements with it. They ask us to face what Jean-Luc Marion calls the saturated phenomenon, the overwhelming richness of existence, and to respond with courage and creativity. They are acts of what Simone, while described as attention, a disciplined openness to the world that reveals its sacredness. A call to action, embrace the infinite. As we close, I invite you to act. Choose one practice, meditation, gratitude, or community, and let it be your compass for 30 days. Let philosophy guide your intention, asking, what does it mean to be fully human? Let science affirm your progress, tracking the subtle shifts in your mind and body. You need not be a mystic or a scholar. You need only the audacity to seek the infinite within the finite. In the words of Rainer Maria Rilke, live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer. Spiritual practices are the path to those answers, a way to transform your life by embracing the mystery, the meaning, and the miracle of being. Thank you.